Choose one. Choose one of your two children you would like to send to concentration camp. A question to a mother by a Nazi stormtrooper. Well, she couldn't choose. How could she? So my brother chose for her. That is the premise of the book Refugee. Separated by history and geography, the story of three children and their families who had to escape their violent homelands to survive. Only if they survived the escape. Unaccepted and unwelcome by the world, they have to be lucky. 1939, 1994, 2015. Germany, Cuba, Syria. Has the world changed? Yes, we are responsible for lost generations. And in this loss together, we have Vihaann with us, who's going to explore this wonderful book with us. Hello, Vihaann. It's good to have you with us.
Hi everyone, my name is Vihaann. I'm a student in grade 6 studying in Ontario, Canada. So today, I will be reviewing a book called Refugee by Gratz. So, let's get started.
We are not criminals, one of the other men in the cell yelled at him. We didn't ask for civil war. We didn't want to leave our homes, another man yelled. We are refugees, Mahmoud yelled, unable to stay silent any longer. We need help. Refugee. The world seems full of refugees these days, and the word seems to be so loaded. Would you explain, Vihaann, how does one become one?
Now, refugees are people who are forced to leave their homes and seek asylum in other countries because of overruling dictators, war, or natural disasters. By asylum, I mean a situation when a person or people stay in other places where the situation is better in terms of money, leaders, and a peaceful environment. They have got to go through a lot of different losses and obstacles in search of a better place to live, something which we take for granted in our normal lives.
That's so true. While reading the book, I did lose the sense of time and history. It all seemed to happen at the same time. Even the geography did not seem to make a difference. It felt as if it was the same time and same place, decades, continents, everything seemed to be the same. What did you feel about that?
Even the geography did not seem to make a difference. It felt as if at the same time in the same place, decades, continents, all were the same. That's how generic the theme of the book was. Although the book revolves around the hardships and challenges that some refugees from Syria, Cuba, and Germany face, however, the incidents in the book can be seen around the world in any war and in any place. Even the present day wars like happening, and like the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, and thousands of people get displaced from their homes and end up becoming refugees.
They only see us when we do something they don't want us to do. And unfortunately, we scoff at refugees coming to our doorstep, coming to our country. Shouldn't we be a little more welcoming to them?
I felt we should be more kind towards refugees and help them instead of shunning them. Because we don't know what they're going through and the trauma they're facing.
Absolutely agreed. And then there were so many boats. Isabel's family had worked in secret all night with the Castillos, worried someone might hear them. But apparently, everybody else had been doing the same thing. There were inflatable rafts, canoes with homemade outriggers, rafts made of inner tubes tied together. And these boats, if they can be called that, were to be taken in the Atlantic Ocean for 19 miles, where they will meet storm, tankers, and sharks. Can you imagine, Vihaann, what can make a person to go on this journey?
The only reason I can think of for someone to go on this incredibly dangerous journey is that the situation got so dire in their home country that it was life threatening and they had no option but to go through this difficult and distressing route of taking refuge in another country.
You learn how to put yourself in other people's shoes and be more empathetic because you'll read about other countries, timelines, traditions, cultures, and beliefs. How true! That's what we are after. We want to raise readers out of children to create a better future for them. I hope as Bookbibuli we have been able to meet this. And the last question. Of the three stories, which one did you find the most heart-wrenching?
Out of the three stories, I found Joseph's story the most heartbreaking. Joseph's father was forcefully taken to a concentration camp. He was released from the camp after 6 months on a condition that they would leave the country within 14 days, which they did. However, his days at the camp left him traumatized and paranoid. They left for the U.S., but were not allowed to enter the country. So they went to Cuba instead, but they were not allowed to enter there either. Joseph's father tried to commit suicide. He was rescued by the Cuban army, luckily, and thus Joseph's family had to leave him behind. After being separated from his father forever, Joseph's family was separated again from Joseph's sister, Ruthie.
Thank you so much, Vihaann. It has been a pleasure to have you with us. And thank you for not only for reviewing this book, but also for introducing it, because I don't think this is a very popular literature right now.
I think that sometimes people should read such books because these help you understand other people's lives better and value the things we have. And even helped me understand the issues around the country and the world. I hope you enjoyed listening to my review on Refugee by Gratz. Until next time, peace.
3 stories, and each witnessed by someone in the other, hair-raising, exceptionally chronicled. 3 children living in different eras in different countries, ravaged, made inhabitable by war, by politics. They are a part of the lost generation. Joseph, 12, Germany, 1938, must flee to survive the anti-Semitism. 14 days to flee the country or go to the concentration camp. A family of 4 with a paranoid father created in the camps. They traveled 40 days across continent to Cuba, only to be turned back to Europe. Isabel, 11, Cuba, 1994, had to flee to survive hunger, now or never. A homemade dinghy in Atlantic Ocean with 8 passengers and a pregnant mother in labor. They will have to survive the dead engine, oil tankers, storms, sharks, and coastguards. Wet feet, dry feet. Mahmoud Bashar, 12, Syria, 2015, had to flee the civil war. When a missile finds your home, it's time to find another home. No vacation packing, 5 of them with an infant daughter. Start on car, lose it in hours, walk for days, sail on inflatable boat, walk across borders, get looted and defy the authorities. A refugee. A word talked with disdain. Should it be? There is no refugee by choice. A refugee has no choice. No one wants to be a refugee. One is made to be. A refugee has to live 3 lives, a life in homeland ravished by the persecution and harsh realities, which cause the survival to be a challenge. A life of escape, where it is no longer a human, but a refugee, in which it is unaccepted and unwelcome in any country, where one will be arrested, sent back, or put in squalors called refugee camps. but it has to beg to find a home in a new country. And the third, where it has no past left, no qualifications, no possessions, all has been suddenly made worthless. A lawyer, doctor, engineer, it doesn't matter. It has to start afresh from the start, sometimes at an age when one is planning to retire. No money, no qualifications, you just carry a body. What was one's sport? Was it the stars? Can it not happen to you? Don't we start believing that this will end? Can't we see around us? Never does. Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Venezuela, Ukraine. Politics mainly is recent, and long-term dictators are a common thread. Watch out for them. Published in 2017, a bestseller for the past 3 years, winner of multiple awards. Refugee was also a global read-aloud book for 2018. Alan Michael Gratz, celebrated author, has given young adults 17 novels to consume. He has been widely awarded for Refugee, and very rightly so. Now for the Bookbibuli Read Reco. So for the language competency 5.2, language of the book is almost invisible. You don't see it from the story. Comprehension, the story flows on its own. It's easy. The child should have a reading speed of about 50 pages per day, and it shall be out of hand and in the head within 5 days. The child will witness secondhand the hardships of surviving death and human empathy. Teen grade complex storyline, expected to comprehend multiple stories on different timelines. After consuming this, you will develop deep empathy. Refugee will not remain a scoffed upon word. Familiarization of the geopolitics can be expected. The importance of family and power of hope will be settled. Dark side of human behavior, there is no sexual content, no substance abuse, but it's a very, very realistic story. As natural progression of things goes, this would be a perfect book to be read after A Night Divided by Jennifer Nielsen, The War That Saved My Life, and Out of My Mind. And the book that you have to read after that, I would recommend reading Ban This Book by the same author. And until I see you next weekend, I wish you happy reading.